With someone just kind of, everybody start going like this at about 15 minutes, okay? So that means somebody's gonna set their timer for me, right?
No time.
All right, so I'm gonna, thank you, Mel. To make a quick request that I shut up. Your higher power speaks through me. My name's Anna. I usually check in by saying I'm a compulsive eater because I have just about every aspect of this disease. When we go around the room and qualify, I'll go into a little more detail and say my name's Anna. I'm a compulsive overeater, a compulsive undereater, and I am nervous. My disease wants to tell me that I don't have a recovery story because, like, I'm not perfect. I don't have a lot of time. I'm not to the point where I'm sponsoring people yet. But everything that my disease was telling me just got me sicker and sicker. And I'm going to talk a little bit later on about something called contrary action, which is where it's basically like anything that I think is what I should be doing, especially early in recovery, I should probably do the opposite. So when I was asked to share my story tonight, that ran through my mind. But then probably the biggest thing that convinced me was the person who asked me used the W word. Willing. Am I willing to give my recovery story? And I am trained and cued now, like I used to be trained and cued by like food smells or food thoughts by certain words. And willing helps me to get really honest. And when I have to look at, if I'm willing, what I have to look at is I'm physically capable of doing something. And if I'm not physically capable of doing something, then it doesn't matter, then I just can't. But if I am physically capable, then I need to do. Because anything that I would do for my disease, I need to do for my recovery, and I did everything for my disease. So I want to use how it talks about in the big book, in a general way, share what it was like, what happened, what it's like now. So I don't know if I was born a compulsive overeater or not. I can say that some of my first memories are being punished because I was caught stealing food. And like really one of my very, very first memories, it was in the middle of the night and I was standing in front of the refrigerator and I was eating something out of the refrigerator, and what I remember was the middle shelf was directly in front of my face. So that's about how tall I was. But also in my family, food was very controlled, and it was like you couldn't be wasteful with food, so you had to clean your plate, but it was also the first line of punishment. And so there was restricting that happened, to punish, you didn't get snack or you didn't get dessert and such things. And so one of my coming of age things was when I moved out in my own house. I could eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. And it was my independence. It was my symptom of independence from my family. It was my way of owning myself. I was chubby as a kid, but I remember I saw this meme on Facebook one time that said, I wish I was as fat as I was the first time I thought I was fat. And I saw a picture of myself as a kid, and I was this normal kid. Normal sized kid, and I remember I just always felt so fat and gangly and bigger than everybody and out of place, and I just wasn't. It was in my mind, and I got out of my hometown. I hitchhiked all across the country, up, down, and back again. I broke down in Kentucky in 1999. But before all that happened, I started using drugs and alcohol, and that eventually qualified me for another program. And I was in that program, and I had about 3 weeks clean, and something happened that I was not fair, it was out of my control, and it had, what felt like very severe personal repercussions to me. And I stood at a very physical crossroads coming home that afternoon. And I was either going to I told myself I wasn't going to be one of those fat recovery people. In that fellowship, a lot of people, when they quit drinking, using drugs, they start to go to the food, start getting weight. So I had a choice between either going left into the convenience store or right and relapsing in that program. And I chose to go left. Let me tell you how powerful this disease is. I have never relapsed in that program. And it was only after coming to OA and putting the food down that I realized I was on the food maintenance program. Food was stronger than drugs and alcohol. As long as I had the food, I was okay. And I want to just thank my higher power right now for every beautiful bite, because until I could live without the food. And so that went on for years. And and I got bigger and bigger, and a lot of my justification for using the drugs and alcohol was to suppress my appetite. And I was desperate to try to switch my obsession from drugs and alcohol, and then also eating food, and then I was like, I want to get really healthy, and I want to diet and exercise. So I started doing that, and I would diet and exercise and be restrictive for 3 or 4 months, and then there would be one day when I would eat a little bite extra or something like that, and then I would binging for the rest of the year. And then the following year, I would diet again for 6 months, and then when I would get down 10, 15 pounds, and then I would do that one mistake. It's over. And I remember one time literally holding on to my chair. Literally holding on to my chair, you have eaten your food for the day. I'm logging my calories, you don't need to eat anymore, and I could not. I physically could not. So, and that was different because I always binged and overate and I would eat and it would not be good, and I would eat and it would burn my tongue because I couldn't wait for it to cool down, and I would eat off, I worked in restaurants, I would eat off other people's plates, I ate out of dumpsters, I did all that stuff that it talks about in the OA book. But I always thought I wanted to. That time when I was holding on to my chair, that was the first time I consciously didn't want to, powerless. And so I kept doing that, and when I got married, I was going to get married. I got married in April of 2019, and I had dieted successfully, and that was that previous fall, and I knew if I didn't do something, I was going to be fat from nothing. So I'm working this other program still, right? So I know there's other 12-step programs. I know there's OA. And so I ordered me some OA literature, right? I just don't know how, complete abstinence in the other program is it's a very simple thing, right? But in OA, my abstinence kills another compulsive overeater. It's very individualistic. And there's a lot of commonalities between us, but it's not like it is in other programs. And so I thought I need to get some literature just so I can understand how to apply the 12 steps. And and so I'm reading about it, and I'm getting it, and I'm hiding it from my other sponsor, and I'm not talking about it with her. And I had this night at work. I had been abstinent to the best of my ability, which was a diet supplemented by OA literature. And I was at work, and the door had been calling me all night, and I had half an hour left of my shift. Everybody's in bed. I'm sitting there, and again, I'm holding on to something. I'm holding on to my hair. Right? And for the first time, I bring God into it. And I pray, God, please help me get out of here without me eating any candy. And this little thought popped over my head. I only eat so much candy in a half an hour, huh? Boom. Face first in the drawer candy. The lot of candy in a half an hour, challenge accepted. So I went to an OA meeting, just one, and I continued to try to diet with OA literature. And I was talking to my sponsor in the other program, and she calls me out. She knows me. She's like, Anna, do you feel like you're cheating on this program? I'm like, yeah, I do. And she's like, honey, we get outside help, right? Like in that program, you don't go to your sponsor when you break your leg. You don't go to your sponsee sister to talk about your retirement plan. We get outside help. We do other things. We get counseling. So it was like, oh, my disease told me that I didn't have a right to another program, and I should be able to apply that first program. So um, I went to another meeting, and then I didn't want to work a program. The second program, I was resistant to it. I didn't want two sponsors. I didn't want two step works. I'm lazy. And I was doing this abstinence thing, and I was doing pretty good. And that abstinence at that time was 3 meals. One night, I ate a fourth meal, completely out of awareness. It was totally a fourth meal, and I somehow, I was floating above myself. But it was a snack, and it was okay because I worked out really hard that. Oh yeah, by the way, the first time I heard the term exercise bulimia was in OA literature. As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, that's what I'm doing. I thought bulimia was just vomiting. Nope. When you're watching your heart rate monitor, waiting to earn a pint of some junk food, that's not just math, that's disease. And so I woke up that next morning with some clarity. I went to bed not thinking I had my abstinence, and I woke up for the first time truly baffled. No amount of willpower, sincere desire, resources. I was out of my body. My body was eating. And I went to an OA meeting. And someone there told me that there was someone who was at another meeting later on that week who also identified as a bulimic. So I went to that meeting. And the one who identified as a bulimic didn't even share that day. She sat there. And she had this energy, what was it? There was something about her eyes, is what the big book says. And that was true. And there was a moment when she and I exchanged energy. And so I made sure that I had her number, and I called her later on that afternoon, and I thought I was gonna talk to her for a little bit, kind of interview her, and it was 2 minutes, and I was like, will you sponsor me? I was scared. I could not control what my body did. And it wasn't about hitting the epic button. I was psychotic. I was out of my body. And I had been abstinent, right, to the best of my ability. It wasn't a binge food. The big book talks about these curious mental blank spots, right? So with this disease, when I put the first bite of something that triggers me in me, I can't stop. But also, it's in my mind. And so no matter how long I've stopped, because if we've all stopped for a while, it's called a diet. There's treatment programs where they control your food. If it was just the physical thing, then all of those would have 100% success rate. But I had this moment that one way or the other, it's going to put that food back in my body. And that's what I need the program of recovery for, is put my mind. So I get the sponsor, and I start working the steps. And she sponsors me out of our OA pamphlet, sponsoring the 12 steps. And sugar was pretty clear for me, out the get-go, eating between meals pretty right out the get-go. Over exercising was clear for me, and one of the first things that I did was I quit wearing my Fitbit, my heart rate monitor, and I felt like I was walking around without any skin on me. I didn't know what kind of day I was having if I didn't know how many calories I had. I didn't feel like I earned any of the food that I was going to eat if I couldn't see that I was burning calories. So I was like, wow, you were sick. That's sick. I literally felt that raw on the outside. And one of the first suggestions that she gave me was, we commit to, a lot of people commit their food to their sponsor. So the awesome thing about that was it got me talking to her every single day. Because first thing in the morning, texting anyway, I'm texting her, and we set up, dedicated times to call. And I was just so, in the other program, it was about compliance, and I didn't know that. I was complying, and then I had that food maintenance program, And and I had a sponsor and I was working steps, so I did get recovery there, but I did not understand the difference between compliance and surrender. And it talks about compliance and surrender in the appendix in the basket weave book, about the disease of the body. That's where I first learned about that. And what it says in there is that I can't control surrender. I'm the only powers over food in my life is unmanageable. I can't even decide to surrender. I'm screwed, right? And so, because it's an unconscious event. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm practicing and I'm acting as if, right? So then I read in Seeking the Spiritual Path, in this story about this man who is literally dying of cancer abstinently. On page 34, it says, while we have a threefold illness, we have only a spiritual recovery. The physical and emotional recovery comes automatically because of God's will for us. So I pass on this message to my OA friends, new and old. No human power can relieve our disease, but God can and will if he were sought. The way we seek his help is by giving to others. I give to others my desire to live, and to that end I will live. How well and how long I live is God's choice, not mine. The physical recovery is his choice. The spiritual is mine. And I finally had a way to practically apply this program. It's not about my communication skills. It's not about, controlling my emotions so I don't emotionally eat. It's not about controlling my food. What can I do? I can work on my spiritual recovery. Right? So I started getting up earlier so I can meditate. I put up my scale that I weighed myself on every day, multiple times a day. Because if the physical recovery is in my higher power's hands, that scale is nothing. The scale did nothing for me any day at that point. And so that was part of the ways I could practice surrender. And it does happen. It did happen. And it is unconscious. And I'm so grateful today. And I still take it back. But every time I think to be aware of it, I'm taking my will back. But I just keep practicing. And it keeps working. Because you know what? I take one step towards my higher power, and my higher power runs towards me. That's been my experience. But I have to take that step, and I have to stay in position, and I have to put down to the best of my ability, to the best of my knowledge. And things have been added to my abstinence. And it became clear that there were things that to be on my food plan. I asked my sponsor, should I change my abstinence? Because I've been eating these foods. And her response to me was no. If you let go of the biggest ones, if your brain starts moving, and you can start seeing those other things. And when you can start seeing those other things, then you let it go. And one of the ways that I saw that was in our literature, maybe a plain reading, but it says if you're wondering about something, it's like, can you put it down for 30 days? And when I thought about putting this next level of foods down for 30 days, I said, okay, that's a problem. So I'm going to put this down for 30 days. And then all of a sudden, while I'm still kind of crying, I realized sugar's forgotten my name. Every once in a while, it still says, hey girl, your sugar has forgotten my name. It doesn't scream at me anymore. And that's because I put it down. I have freedom from the obsession in that area. And that gave me not the faith, but the belief to put down those other foods. And those are still down today. And I just put them down for 30 days the first time. And after that, I continued to go for the following 30 days because the obsession was gone, but I hadn't made a commitment. And I was at a restaurant and they messed up my order. And they put one of those ingredients. And oh my God, I had already eaten half of it because it was kind of in a mix of things. And before I realized what it was. And so, call sponsor, she doesn't answer. Correct. Text sponsor, this is what's happening, this is the plan. I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I'm going to see what happens, because our literature talks about that too. And I was obsessed with food the whole rest of the day. Okay? And it's okay. I don't want those foods anymore just for today. So that was kind of my experience with the first step. And then I got to the second step. And I want to say, thank God, that the word God is nowhere in the second step. Because I was raised very strictly religious, and I have a lot of healing in that area today. But I had this sort of resentment thing, maybe against myself, where God had already relieved me of obsession and compulsion in the other fellowship. And everything else I should be able to do with that amazing gift. It just wasn't true. And the God that I was raised with was petty and punishing, and you really had to like do all of this work and do all these things to show this God that you were worthy of salvation. And I had to again find my own understanding, and I had to again come to believe that no matter how unworthy I may feel, no matter how strong I felt that I should be, that like this God, this higher power, would restore me to sanity, right? And not just with the food, but life. So I just had to start acting as if again, because like my experiences are why I think the way that I do. It's not the way I didn't think my way into those thoughts. I experienced my way into those thoughts. And so when I'm trying to retrain my brain to thinking something different, I have to start acting so I can have new experiences, and that makes new thoughts.
Annie,
So
you have 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
That is crazy. I am so sorry. I did not mean to spend it all on the craziness part. So turning my will and my life over to the care of my higher power means I'm writing the 4-step. I did not have a hallelujah moment. I did the prayer, I did the writing, I did the work. But with that minute, I picked up my pen and I started writing my inventory. And and then I shared, that my sponsor came to my house for my 5th step, and it was so beautiful. It was her lunchtime. She had her lunch while she was receiving my 5th step. And that's been part of my healing too. Is I can eat in front of people now, and people can eat in front of me, and fellows in recovery, and and then the 6th step. So there's a piece of outside literature that gets passed around 12-step rooms that I found really very, very helpful. And in it talks about this classic story about dropping the rock, where it talks about like you don't even know you're holding onto this rock. And you're swimming, and everybody's on this lifeboat of the 12-step program, and they're like, just drop the rock. Like, we're right here. Like, you're hanging on this life preserver that they've thrown you, but you're still hanging onto this rock. Right? And you have to let go. So then, on step 7, humbly asking God to remove my shortcomings, what I had learned about that was that it's in God's time. This is not Anna being done with her shortcomings, and okay, God, you can have them now, like I'm giving God my sloppy seconds. No, this means that I'm ready for God to remove them when God is ready for them to be removed, right? Because God can use my character defects. Step 8, willing to make some amends I was not willing 10 years ago when I got into the other program. And I just went over step 9 with my sponsor last night. And I made my first amends this morning. And I'm going to make another one as soon as this meeting ends. And I'm ready and I'm willing and I have money saved because I am deep, especially when it comes to food. And I'm going to be going up to Kentucky and I'm going to be hitting for this money because my recovery is priceless. And I'm so grateful because the blockages are being removed from my conscious contact with my higher power, and that's to what recovery is. Recovery is the removal of the need compulsively, and like I said, I needed until I got recovery. Work on the 12 steps. That, and I get the experience and I get the strength and I get the hope from coming to the and hearing you all. And having you all hear how crazy I am, love me anyway. I couldn't do it without you. Please keep coming. I guess I'll pass.
Anna, thanks for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing.